Hi. Now in the final video for functions, we're going to extend the program a bit more, and now we're going to have a function that has input parameters as well as return parameters. Okay. So what we're going to do is, now we know that we have a function to just display some information. Next, we created a function to gather the user input and return the user input to the main function. And now we're going to create a function that will be able to take in input parameters and return a value. So since we have two operations here, add and subtract, let's create these two functions here. Okay. So the return parameter is integer. So I'm going to call it add operation. And the two input parameters are going to add them here. So previously you can see they were all void because there was no input parameter. This time around we have two input parameters. So I'm going to say integer x, integer y, for example. Okay. And in this function, what I'm going to do is the two input parameters x and y, I'm going to perform an operation, which is the addition operation. So to do the addition operation, I'm going to declare a variable called results. Okay, and I'm going to say results equals to x plus y. Okay, and then I'm going to return results. Okay. Now, how do I call this function? So over here, instead of me explicitly doing the addition operation here, I'm going to say I call the add operation. Okay, and I'm going to send in num1 and num2. Okay, so when I do this, what happens? Num1 is the first parameter and num2 is the second parameter that I pass in. So the program will automatically map num1 to the first parameter here, which is x, and the second parameter that I pass in num2 will be mapped to y. Okay, and so I'm going to do the operation of x plus y, and so I do result, and I'm going to return. As we know from the previous video, whenever I have a return from the function, that return value must be captured by another variable in the caller function. So in this case, it is add. Okay, so this variable add will be able to capture the return value. Okay, so I will do something similar for the subtract operation. So I'm just going to make it a bit simple for myself. I'm just going to copy paste. So I go for the subtract operation. Everything is the same except I'm now going to do x minus y. Okay, so in this case, again, I'm going to copy this, put it here, and the subtract operation is here. Okay, so you can see the add and subtract are very similar. Whenever I call these two functions, I pass in two parameters, and the order of mapping will be the order in which I have declared the variables in my function here. Okay, so num1 will map to x, num2 will map to y. So I do whatever operation that I want here. Okay, and then I return. Okay, so return result, return results. Okay, and each time I return, I capture it into different variables. Okay, so let's just run this program and see what happens. Okay, so as you can see, we started off with a single program, everything in the main, and now we have modularized everything, okay, into multiple functions. Okay, function to display the heading, function to capture user input, function to calculate the addition and subtraction values, and finally fill out the results. Okay. Another interesting point to note here is, as you can see, within a function you can declare variables, and variables declared within the function only exist within the function. So there is no issue in declaring variables with the same name in different functions. Okay, so this is a good example. Both in add operation and subtract operation have a variable called integer results, but these two are two separate variables. Okay, they are not linked in any way. Okay, they have their own scope. Okay, so in this result variable, the scope is only within the add operation function, while this sub operation function has this result variable that only resides within this function. Okay, so they are both two separate variables, even though they have the same name. Okay, so I hope this has given you a good idea on how we can structure a program, okay, and break it up into modules to make it more readable, okay, and more easily extendable in the future. Okay, so when you want to add a new operation, you want to add more in